and welcome to the Societal Lens. This is the
Convex.
Convex group, and this is part 2 of queer representation in media. I am here with Ruby, Charlie, who is me, Haley, Elise, and Sam's here too.
Young royals. I think the situation is positive. I think it's interesting because
I guess because it explores like homosexuality in like royalty, I guess.
in a different setting,
Yeah.
it shows new challenges. Although the obstacles are focused around being gay, which is
Yeah.
sometimes a negative thing.
Yeah.
However, the story hinges on it. The point of the story is that he is a gay royal.
Yeah.
That's the questionable part of it.
He's a young gay royal.
Yes, as if you wanted to title it,
Yeah.
They,
Well, I said it explores the condemning of homosexuality in the palace. And I said it explores multiple sexualities because there's like obviously the main people, and then there's like those lesbians.
oh, really?
I
I don't know their names. Darcy.
And then
Heartstopper. Oh, okay.
I swear there's somebody who's like, do they like hint that they're asexual? But I can't remember.
I think there's someone who is bi. I want to say. I want to say. I don't know his name.
Oh,
There's the guy who is friends with August.
yeah, does he come out as gay, or does
No,
he
no, they
come
come
out?
as gay. I'm trying to
He
remember.
comes out at the end of it, and they're all like, okay.
So generally, it's a mixed bag of how well it has in terms of
Yeah.
representation. Like
Yeah.
gay people is the main focus, of course. Straight people emphasized as
Yeah.
her horse girl. She is bi. I want to say
She's
Sarah.
bi?
I want to say she was bi, right? Because she kisses. I don't know their names. The one who's in love, who has a crush on August, Emma Wilhelm. Yeah, and then also dates August, which is that's his name, right? I'm not saying that wrong.
Wait, is
Feels
August?
wrong to say that. Augustus feels more right. Like, that's
No,
not
it was August.
August.
But I thought it was kind of like the classic trope of like, it was like, I want to be gay, but I don't want to be gay.
No, stop with
Yeah. I want to be gay, but
Be a proper full-on gay character.
yeah. You're like a mom.
I'm dying over here.
However, both of them want to be gay. None.
Yeah.
There is no internalized
Yeah.
homophobia
I guess
between them, I don't think.
it's more like I want to be gay, but I can't be.
Yeah,
I
it's a lot more limiting factor based on other people because
Because
homophobia.
they sting.
Exactly.
#all.
We don't get any negative themes of.
Yeah.
Is he homophobic? He takes the video, but I don't know if
I
that
think
was.
he says a couple things that are a bit like shady,
He
but I
definitely
don't think
does.
he ever like. It's more like he just wants to. He wants to be the crown prince.
He does,
He
doesn't he?
doesn't care about.
It also is good because it doesn't make it idealistic, the world that it's in. That is a big point of it, actually, mainly,
Yeah.
that it is realistic in terms of if there was someone royal who was gay. I don't know actually how, like, the system works in the royal family for that. Did you think they would get kicked out immediately, was it?
I just think that they wouldn't be as nice to him.
Yeah, how
Because they were a bit like, because he kind of like when he was talking about it, I think he was saying like, "Oh, they won't let me be gay," like, and he was kind of bashing them, like the royal family and stuff, and being like, "I'm mean, I'm proud," and like, yeah, it's cute, but I don't think that they would openly like, because they kind of just let him go back to school. I know that it was like he was like, "Oh, it wasn't me," but it's like,
I feel like we should question him though because he does the blame game a lot in terms of blaming his family. Like
yeah,
end of season 2, I want to say, is when he gives the speech. That's the first time he kind of actually takes it into his own hands. That it's not all their fault. They can reject him as much as he wants, but it's his choice if he's actually going to still go forward with it.
yeah,
Announce it. He has social media, to my knowledge. He has ways.
yeah.
Computers in the school. That's how the video got in the
Like,
first
hey,
place.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Boy, it's the same as what's that film? Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's the exact same thing. It's at the end. It's like, oh, they come out. they're not gonna do that.
The parents are like, nah, but then they're like,
They just go out on the balcony. I'm gay.
Then they win the
Literally.
election.
The gay parade's just out there, and it's just like,
Yeah, then they win the
perfect
election.
timing. The gays are alright. Time to come out.
Okay.
So basically, bros, there's two guys, and from the title, I thought they were going to be like best friends and they turn into lovers. No, I can't even remember how they meet. They just no, it's okay. They're at like a gay club, and they meet at this gay club, and the gay guy's like, they're both gay. The main guy is trying to flirt with this guy, and then he just kind of leaves, and that's what keeps happening throughout the whole film. He's trying to flirt with him, or he's trying to like fall in love with him, and the other guy's like, no, yeah, and it's just, it sucks. It's the worst film I've ever watched in my life. I don't know if I'm gonna say threesomes, but there's a couple of those. Maybe even foursomes. I don't know. I don't remember. But
To like censor this, we could say multiple people
Giving each other
doing the do.
Yeah.
Doing the do.
multiple people are doing the do
Yeah.
together
at the same time.
at the same time, and it's horrible. And I hate the film, and it's my least favorite film ever. So.
Does it have stereotypes?
I guess like the other guy in the film, like a lot of it is about how he like looks straight. Like I know that's not really a massive stereotype, but it's kind of like, oh, he looks straight, so he's a bad boyfriend. And it's like I don't know. Yeah. And the other guy's really annoying, and he talks like that guy in the Pinocchio act.
I love it.
When can I leave to be on my own?
I got the wrong words to sing.
I hate him.
Roxy.
He's the most annoying person ever, and I hate him. Sorry.
With love.
I think it's like based on him in person, but I don't care. I hate him.
Yes, be that
Yeah. Screw you, random guy. I don't care about you. Yeah. It sucks. So, anybody else got anything?
Okay, so we've been talking about 5 minutes something about those shows. So why don't we talk about some of the cartoon ones? Yeah, let's talk about a cartoon.
Shira.
Cartoons aren't childish. You seen some sort of like controversies regarding the main relationship being Catra and Adora. Catradora, if you will.
Catch adorable. I haven't seen it.
And the people, I'd say most people like the relationship. However, there's a lot of people that don't and actually find it quite toxic. And it is due to the fact that Catcher does a lot of horrible things, like she's on the evil side, and people say that like there's no way that she had enough time to change in that time. However, I would argue that's more of a writing issue than a character issue. I don't think they were trying to present like a horrible person as being in this lovely wholesome relationship. I think what they wanted to happen was to have Catra redeem herself, but they spent too much time showing her downfall and not enough time showing her redemption. So it seems as though she is more toxic than she is at the end because they didn't give it enough time. I think that's less to do with who she is at the end of the series and more about the writing itself. So yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to mention the iconic scenes. Like, what do you want, Dora? No one here gets that.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, the Hey Adora, and there's also the princess prom scene with the dancing, and there's two iconic scenes in that. One is when Catra dips Adora, and it has this really cool dramatic pose. And the other one is when Catra almost jumps off a cliff. And
Gay.
So, and they have this like moment of tension, and Catra says something like, "Oh, I don't want you to save me," and like, It continues jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
She doesn't die, she gets caught by the
by the way,
villains.
the 5 gay love languages are jumping off a cliff, cutting off someone's arm,
No
gifting
reference.
rocks like penguins, and the other 2. So
Gifting
The
rocks.
other 2!
Gifting rocks is such a good
But
I
yeah.
love giving people rocks.
Surprisingly, Ketra and Adora aren't the only queer people in this. There's I'm not gonna list every single queer person in this show, there's a lot of them. But one person that we did want to talk about is Double Trouble. Double Trouble is a non-binary character who is a lizard.
So
But yeah,
that's
they're absolutely
horrible.
iconic. They are great. They are voiced by a non-binary person, I do believe. They're fabulous. However, there's been like a history of non-binary people being played by non-human characters to sort of like excuse the fact that they're non-binary. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't possibly have it any other way. They have
Yeah.
to be a robot or they have to be an alien otherwise.
Yeah. Like a lot of non-binary or agender or gender fluid characters will be non-human. Like in The Good Place, Janet.
I love Janet.
I have an example. In Zombies, that one alien.
Well done, Hayden. I love
I'm
Janet.
contributing.
I love
Janet. Good
I
place.
okay. I actually used Janet to explain being non-binary to my dad. And so like in the
Aww.
but yeah, I love Janet. But yeah, there is this trend of non-binary characters always being either aliens or computers. I'm trying to think of some more examples. There is something that I was going to bring up last episode, which
That's
was
an alien.
an alien. Which was an anime where they are rocks, and almost every single main character is agender. If you're interested in watching that, it's called Land of the Lustrous. It has 1 season. It's amazing, and it's fun. But yeah, are there any examples of non-binary characters that aren't robots or aliens?
I can't think of one.
There definitely are. I just can't.
Yeah. Wait.
Does Heartstopper have any?
I don't think so.
No.
Although, Kizzy, who plays Darcy, is non-binary.
In real life.
I think
Darcy,
I think Darcy is.
Darcy turns.
Yeah.
Guys, spoilers.
Oh,
Sorry. You said that like you were in Heartstopper.
Is this
Yeah, no.
this whole episode not a spoiler?
Okay, this doesn't technically count, but from the Owl House, Rain, they are all elves and they are all witches and stuff.
But the fact that Rain is a witch or like an elf or whatever
What's this in?
doesn't kind of explain the fact that they're non-binary. They're non-binary on top of being.
Yeah, exactly, because the witches are also treated as like human-esque in the series, so it's
Wait, what show
so I
is this?
think that counts. The Owl House, it's a kids show. It's coming up with Stevonnie
But that's not.
from Steven Universe.
That's not a human. That's
a gemstone, yeah.
that's a gemstone fusion.
Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is from Sailor Moon. Frankie Stein, I guess. I guess.
Only
but
in the new adaptation,
yeah,
though.
and also she's a monster.
She is a monster.
I've misgendered. I'm awful.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Sorry.
Who?
Frankie.
Frankie.
Stein.
Oh, Frankie. I thought you said Frankenstein. I was like,
Yeah, Frankie.
Frankenstein.
I know,
Yeah,
Frankie
they're
is-
misgender in the later ones, but in the earlier ones.
Yeah. Also, Frankie
Not-
is
a human.
Yeah, I know, but with
Oh, is that what- I thought we were looking up-
Yeah, we are, but
Okay, I actually can't find any.
that's not very
Wait.
I don't know most of these. Oh, from the Dragon Prince, there's an elf from the Dragon Prince that wants to get enough. Oh my god,
There might be just
Kipo!
one
Right, I
other-
forgot.
two of those.
From, you know
What's
Kipo
on
the
the
Age of
list?
Wonder Beasts?
Yes.
Yeah, Kipo has a partner that's non-binary. They just never show that relationship in the actual show.
Right, another one. Klaus Hargreaves, not in the show, The Umbrella Academy, but in the comics. They are non-binary and pansexual.
That's on Monsters High.
Monsters.
Monsters.
And the Hollow Knight. Which is from a game.
I saw the one from Zombies and also Frankie Stein.
Yeah, Double Trouble is one of my favorites personally.
Oh, Alex Fierro. That is another example of a shapeshifter. A shapeshifter being gender fluid. So Double Trouble and Alex Fierro are both kind of gender fluid or non-binary shapeshifters, which is a weirdly common trope I see.
Care to elaborate on why you don't like it? Or, like, do you like it?
It's okay because it does give us some representation, but it is kind of like, oh, it's fictional, because it's not an actual real person. It's someone who can, change what they look like and everything.
Yeah.
So it's not accurate representation because real life people can't change what they look like. They can't turn into a jaguar or whatever.
I
Aww.
wish we could.
Same.
That'd be great if I could just. I'm not furry, but it'd be great if I could just turn into like a cow or something.
they're not as much non-binary as they are specifically up to player interpretation. So like they're all like listed. There's two characters that are listed as agender characters, as far as I'm aware, because it's up to the player interpretation. So technically, they're all or neither. Which is Eugene and Charlie from Underworld Office.
I really thought you were going to say from Tangled for a second. So, I was like, quite.
But yeah, no one's gonna get that. Throw it in there anyways. It's a great game. Play it. Play it.
Do it now.
Do it now. It's free on the App Store, and you can get it. And
What's
you
it
can
called?
Play it. Well, one of them is called Underworld Office, and the sequel is Charlie in Underworld.
Okay, there you go. Go play them now, right now.
Right now, stop listening. No, don't stop listening to this.
After this one,
Finish listening to this episode.
listen to all our other episodes,
Every single one, and then
you can
do
go
it.
and play.
and then go play.
Thank you.
At the same time.
I feel like
Multitasking.
it's like
Yeah.
you can do this, but after that you can go play.
You can
Playtime.
play the game at the same time as listening to the podcast because this is a podcast.
Yeah.
You just do all of
Do
it.
it
And
at
then
the
it
same
maybe.
time. Another couple characters I can think of who aren't human, who don't really conform to regular gender roles, are Crowley and Aziraphale. From Good Omens.
Who?
Gaiman.
Who's Neil Gaiman? Is he hot?
It's
That one?
Yeah.
Oh. Is it Neil Gaiman? I believe it.
Because he did something
You're an
bad
idiot.
and we
Neil Gaiman.
What did he do?
sexual assault.
Yeah.
Oh, pass. He's not even hot.
And they're great, and I love them, and I love David Tennant, and I love Michael Sheen, and I love them.
You know who else loves David Tennant?
Crowley and Aziraphale, they've been like pining after each other for 6,000 years, right? And they're an angel and they're a demon. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And they're like in love. And there's also like a book and something else, a radio show. And there's different characterizations, but I haven't read the book, nor have I listened to the radio show. So we're going to talk about the TV show. And I do like it. I like the characterization and the romance. It's easy to get invested in. And you can kind of relate to the characters despite them not being human. Is in like their personal angst. And the acting is really good. It's really convincing, which isn't surprising considering who they're played by. That is just me being biased about who the actors are because I love them, but whatever. Can someone else talk now? Because
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The story is definitely really, really interesting, and you can tell that the actors really put their all into it. However, one thing that we might want to talk about is straight people. One thing we might want to talk about is those damn straight people. Anyways, one thing we might want to talk about is straight people playing gay characters, or just queer characters in general. So,
yeah,
David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
they are both heterosexuals who have very lovely wives.
Right.
Right.
How do you think they did as like...
So I think this is a good example of a cishet person playing a queer character because it is a positive representation of these queer people. They're not making fun of queer people or queer culture, and they're not perpetuating stereotypes. Charlie's going to talk now. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it comes off as genuine. They're doing it as professionals, and when it comes to queer people being covered in like political media, for example, you can tell that or like in a lot of shows actually, you can tell that they don't care about the character. It's either for representation or to make fun of the characters. However, in this example, the acting is really good, and you can tell that there was care put into the
Yeah.
characterization and that their personalities actually mattered very much.
Woo! So, also, David Tennant is a very big advocate for queer and trans rights. He goes out and he wears like trans pins and pride pins, and he talks openly about his support for the trans community. So we love David Tennant for that.
Good portrayal example of a cis actor playing a queer character will be Darren Criss in Glee. You, Samuel, how do you
Lane.
think he did?
How do I think he
You're
did?
gay.
I think he did.
Also because you've seen it.
I think he did a very good job actually. He is the one who isn't the stereotype in the relationship.
Yeah.
The one that is the stereotype is the actual gay one, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also he like was really convincing and like being in love with Kurt. They were meant to be together.
Love was his
Go.
focus in when acting the character, not acting gay. That seems
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
evident. He was just
Yeah.
being himself.
He was just like a character that was gay. He wasn't a gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, gayness wasn't the whole
yeah.
character. He was a character who had multiple traits. He was a multifaceted character, and one of those facets was that he was a queer character.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, kind of obsessed with Kurt. Like, I mean, every single thing he did was kind of focused around Kurt. Like, he moved schools for Kurt. He went to New York. Well, he didn't go for Kurt, but like, he went to New York for Kurt, you know. Okay, in conflict to Darren Criss's portrayal of Blaine Anderson, we have Cam from Modern Family, who is super stereotypical.
His name's Eric Stonestreet, I believe.
Yeah,
Is that what
Yeah,
you
we're
said?
calling you out, Eric Stone.
So I am for Cam only because
Because you're attracted
Yes.
to him.
Yeah,
you
no.
whore.
well, actually he is kind of a stereotype, yes. However, we do have to be honest that the stereotype comes from somewhere. There are people who match it. Oh, there are people who match
Americans.
it. Americans.
Americans.
All Americans are
So
the
it's
same.
damn Americans. No, you don't.
But Cam is a light relief character. Although his although his focus is around being gay, it's never used as an obstacle against him. I want to make that statement. That Cam never has an obstacle that because he's gay. He is a gay character. He acts gay, stereotypically, but he never is held back by it. No one ever.
Sam, did you not just watch the episode where he was pretending to be straight?
Oh yeah. Wait, no, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
the
no.
whole point.
Yeah, but it was Mitch who was the one who was
No, they were
dressed
both
up in a
pretending-
farmer's
Yeah,
outfit.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing that to be
Oh, yeah.
straight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
true.
both pretending to be straight because he grew up on a farm and his family knows, I think, but not his
Grandma.
His grandmother's gonna die
This is actually
if they tell her
on
that they're
deathbed
gay.
twice, but
Yeah.
this is actually an interesting thing for them to have put in because this is something that very much occurs in real life. The separation between the older generation and the younger generation and views on.
It's the same with I can't remember his name, but Mitch's dad.
Jay?
Not
Jay. Jay.
Jay's not.
He
homophobic,
doesn't
my
like
son's gay. Continue.
he doesn't like the fact that I think when they're getting married or something or when they adopt Lily, he doesn't like it. He's not a fan. He learns to like it. Everyone's like, "Oh, Jay." It's like,
Well, the first episode.
Can I just say, I do hate that. I hate that
wow.
when someone's homophobic, like in TV, and they're just immediately forgiven, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, praise!" Like it's like doing the bare minimum.
It's okay. You
No.
just didn't get it before, and that makes
Exactly.
everything you've done to me a-okay.
yeah. I feel like that happens a lot. It's just like, oh, they're nice to gay people now. So.
He's just a little
Yeah.
guy. Look at how nice he is to those.
To those straight white
Things.
people.
No, it's so annoying when movies and shows do that though, when they start to make a character who comes off as homophobic start with because they are. They come off as that, and then they redeem themselves, and it's ignore
Harry
all the proof.
from Heartstopper.
Harry from Hearts. Do we forgive Harry ever? We never redeem him.
Oh, in the comics
In the
though.
comics,
Oh, in the
yeah.
comics. Okay, this is not
Sorry,
my
graphic
territory.
novels.
This is not my
Yeah.
territory. This is you guys. So, do you have any comments about Harry from graphic novels?
He's annoying and like
He is a bit annoying,
But his
actually.
turnaround, that's the
he's
And he wears a
very, like,
tutu at some point.
yeah.
Oh, I can't be
Are you
homophobic.
judging him for that?
No,
How
Or a
could
tutu.
you? I trusted you.
It was a neutral statement, Charlie.
it was a neutral statement. I'm saying that just because he
Doesn't imply that.
he wore a tutu, but just because he did that, he did it kind of as a allyship movement.
Yeah. Look, I'm wearing a tutu.
Like, look,
Can't be homophobic. I'm wearing a tutu.
yeah,
It's my friend. Whatever, she's an ally. Say ally. I'm an ally.
I'm an ally.
I'm not like homophobic or anything.
I'm an ally.
We're so thankful for your support.
Thank you for your service.
Where was I? Yeah.
Comics. Tutu.
Graphic novels, Sam.
Comics.
And he's kind of forgiven for literally everything he put every queer character through because he wears a tutu, which is just, it's a bit reductive, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a lot. It's the same with like August in your Immortals. People are like, oh, oh, he got his heart broken.
Okay. I am one of those bad people because in the final season of Young
Defending Cam, defending whoever this guy is.
he is a bad guy,
He is.
but
He's a
for
bad
some
person.
reason-
He's not just a bad guy.
Exactly.
He's a bad person.
The show in the final season does a really convincing job at making me actually interested, and it is.
Is it because you
happiness.
think he's hot?
No. Oh no, I don't
Oh,
find him
that's a
hot.
change.
I find him-
That's what I was.
That's
Come on.
new.
I find Wilhelm hot, so realistically, I'm rooting for him against. But no, his story is actually really interesting. In the final season, they delve into some big topics. Also, I'm still not sure.
They delve into big topics all thing.
I
Like,
know.
you know, him
That
getting
big
human
topic.
Hey
skin
guys,
out.
but before that, August is a two-dimensional character who is taking the role, of course, of the.
I don't think he was two-dimensional.
No,
I think he
Really?
was
There was a lot of
facing a
things
lot.
about him.
Sorry, I'm
Sorry.
talking over you.
I was talking. You can.
I don't think he is two-dimensional because he does face a lot of like personal conflict.
I
Like,
say that, but that comes later on.
no,
in the show.
it's literally. I've literally only watched the first season,
Yeah.
and I can see it from the start. He is facing his own, like from maybe like third episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
the drugs,
ADHD
true,
or
the
whatever.
drugs, yeah,
Yeah,
drugs.
and he's facing a lot of like the expectations for him as not only as a royal, as an older royal. Like he's like pretty much next in line for the throne or something like that. I don't know. Or is he? I
He's
don't know.
not next in line. He would be after.
Yeah.
Will.
So he's proper important
Yeah.
and everything.
And he's scared about
Why
it.
does he upload the video? Because I'm just thinking about it
Because-
now. Because he first recorded because he thought that it would be really cool to show his mates that Wilhelm's getting some action from a girl. He finds out gay. Would he have uploaded it either way, do you think? As a way to prank Wilhelm?
Well, it wasn't a prank. He wanted to be in power. He hated
Oh,
that he
used
wasn't
it
in
against
power.
him.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Did you watch the program?
I did,
Yeah.
but that's the type of stuff where it's never explicitly stated. It's left up to you to work out and kind of find throughout the
Yeah,
show
I
what's
think
happening.
it was because that was when he was kind of like, I can't remember if Wilhelm's brother had died yet.
No, that was
It was
Emmy's
right after that
season.
one. But he wanted to be like next in line after
Yeah,
Eric or whatever. He
evil
didn't
guy.
want Wilhelm because he thought Wilhelm was stupid. So.
There we go. We've gone back to regarding royals. We started with it and we've gone back to it, should we know?
Anything else anyone
Are we
wants to
on
talk about?
Particular structure.
Testicular structure.
So, Cam from London family, and then, yeah, about three people
Not hate relationship.
It kind of split. He's very funny, and Elise hates him.
I don't hate him.
I
He's
love him.
okay.
He's great.
Okay. Kit Connor, who played Nick Nelson.
Yeah.
I get confused. I'm like, Charlie or Nick? Who played Nick Nelson in Heartstopper, who obviously is a bisexual character. At the time, it was presumed that Kit Connor was straight, and he wasn't actually out as anything. He hadn't said that he was straight, and he hadn't said that he was queer.
But a lot of fans on the internet were attacking him and kind of accusing him of queer baiting because he's a straight actor, and I say that in quotation marks, playing a queer person, which, by the way, is not the definition of queer baiting at all. Queer baiting is when a show pretends that there's going to be a queer storyline to get queer
Audience.
audience,
Like Sherlock, that's what, yeah.
like Sherlock. What Kit Connor did was his job.
Yeah.
So Kit Connor auditioned for a role. He got that role because he's a good actor, and he was able to play that role convincingly for the most part. And that's not. That's
a discussion for another day.
that is not a slight on his skill as an actor. That's kind of a slight on Heartstopper and the writing that went into the show. Because obviously he was a good actor, and he faced a lot of pressure, and he was forced to come out at 18 as bi, even though he clearly was not ready to come out, and he has publicly stated that if he had not been pressured by fans, he wouldn't have come out at all.
Yes.
So
screw you guys for that, first of all.
screw you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
idiots.
that's not very nice.
So there is definitely something to be said with the pressure that a lot of people face when they're kind of playing a role that they don't represent. And that's not me saying, oh, poor straight people.
Yeah.
That is to say, don't attack people just because they're doing something you might not like. I think what Kit Connor did, even if he was straight, I would not have a problem with him playing a queer character because he's doing it well and he's doing it convincingly, and he's portraying a lot of struggles that queer people do go through. If he was doing it in a stereotypical way, I would have problems with that, I think. But he's not doing it in a stereotypical way. He's doing it in a good way, and he shouldn't have been forced to come out. No one should be forced to come out.
Unpopular opinion, but
And I think what he went through, and he does feel a lot of pressure by fans, like going between season 1 and season 2, he faced a lot of pressure to bulk up and gain a lot of muscle mass because fans were saying that his body type didn't match the Nick in the graphic novels, which is so stupid because one, it did. In the comics, Nick isn't this super buff guy.
He's just a rugby guy.
He's just a rugby guy, and
No one in secondary school are gonna be like,
super buff.
Six is super scrawny. No offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it is unfair for Kit Connor to have been through all of that. Because he's a great actor. I love him. You know.
This has been the Societal Lens talking about queer representation in media. This is the Convex group. I've already said all the names. You can
stop.
Yeah, you can watch it
Why
again.
weren't you listening?
Why weren't you paying attention?
And what do you guys think overall? What do we think of an overview of the queer representation media and how it's going?
I think it's getting better, but there's still that room for improvement.
I think it could, 100% get better.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times, particularly in American shows, they kind of put gay representation in just for the sake of gay representation, and people get annoyed because one side thinks that it's bad that there's gay representation because it's gay representation, and the other side is like, we don't like this gay representation either because they don't treat the characters right. So it's like there's definitely still some improvement to be made, but it's been getting better.
So I think I agree with all of the people, and I also think it's kind of a case by case basis as to whether it's because obviously we've had positive examples, we've had negative examples, and they've been from all over the world. It's been from different timeline zones, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Different years, you know what I mean? And I think the best representation we find is when it's not done by big corporations, and it's not really made for the purpose of making money, because that's when you start to get stereotypes and gay people just for the sake of there being gay people. And I think if we look back to last episode where I was talking about fanfic, that is kind of, it wasn't made for money and it was made by queer people who've been through those experiences. And I think that is when it's done best. But obviously, that is a very strict criteria for good queer representation. So it is definitely a case by case basis.
So yeah, this has been Societal Lens on queer representation in media, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Part 2. This is part 2, by the way.
Yeah, this is part 2.
Okay.
Bye. Here at the Societal Lens, we hate gay people.
I just
hate
I
flamboyant gay
stopped
people.
doing my notes. One of
We
them was,
hate them
if
all.
one more gay guy falls in love with this high school bully, I'm ending it.
This is how I
Dora.
This is how I feel when you guys talk about Glee and you guys say something like, "Oh my god, Boingle Doingle!" and, and all of you guys will start laughing, and I'll sit here like, "What the hell is the Boingle Doingle, guys?" And you'll be
I
like,
love that.
"It's from Glee, episode 47, when the man goes Oingle Boingle Doingle."
Yeah, that's what Haley does. It's not us, it's Haley.
That was the entirety of the first episode of this.
I apologize.
Do you remember the episode where Mercedes was getting thrown sticks at by you?
And that is because they're in a they're no no no.
They're another.
That is because and also Sailor Uranus from
Uranus? Uranus.
Hell yeah.
Not my
You're so mature.
you can start.
Okay,
I'll
so
pitch in when
after
you're
having
ready.
been stabbed, I can't remember what I was talking about. So basically,
Very lovely.
We're kidding.
You're great. Fact, guys, I put my Christmas tree up the same day as David and Georgia Tennant.
I really thought we were going to be fun fact, guys.
I'm David Tennant. She is gorgeous.
Is she?
David Tennant, we love your wife.
I'm gonna steal your wife.
She's ours now.
Exactly, so I'm biased.
Our wife.
Our wife. Communism.
So
Trans community. Yeah, I love the trans community.
community.
If you say so, Haley.
I
if
say
you
so.
say so.
Do you have any
It's
evidence?
looking like but a boinkadorks again. Sorry, this has the same energy as Phoenix Wright going to law school and becoming a lawyer just to see Edgeworth again.
I have no clue what you're talking about, but yes, I agree.
The viewers
Well,
yes, they will. How can you be gay and not know what Phoenix Wright is?
yes, Sam.
Was it the Phoenix from Harry Potter?
No,
No!
I hate you. You're awful, and I hate you, and I don't like this anymore. Quit. I quit. No one here gets my references. No one here knows who David Tennant is. Sam.
Sam.
There we go. We've gone back to Regarding Royals. We started with it and we've gone back to it, shouldn't we now?
Anything else anyone
Are we
wants to
on
talk about?
Particular structure.
Testicular structure.